Hey peoples! I'm not sure how the volume is or anything, so please tell me if the music is too loud or too not loud, quiet, or if I'm too quiet or too loud, because I don't know. But yeah, today we are gonna finally do some modeling on this channel, and hopefully it's gonna go good. Hey, I'm watching 3 streams at once, so I'm gonna be in and out. Yay! I could never focus on 3 streams at once. That is pretty impressive. Can I put you there? Might work. Okay, yeah, but so this is our model for the day, and it's a commission piece. And I've started putting the art machine so that it's like all the triangles, or the points that turn into triangles, and then all of these things are like their own parts of the model, so they all need their own art meshes. So it's a lot of triangles. She's so pretty. Thank you. Thank you. It's a really cute character. I'm so lucky to have such cute characters to work on. But yeah, so step 1, make a whole bunch of triangles. And so like how they work is like, am I on the right yet? Am I going to, yeah, so like this is like what manipulates things. And we want to have it so like it's good. Let's see, I'm gonna use my pen instead of my mouse. It's not even mine because mine broke. And yeah, it's gonna take a while just to get through the art mesh stage, and then we're gonna clip everything together the way it needs to be. And after clipping, there is the deformers we gotta add to everything, and then we can finally start like animating stuff. So that's gonna be fun. Oh, I'm just making tiny points, and the way you want it is to be like even triangles. The way it works the best. And anything that isn't within a triangle, it's not gonna show up. So that's no good. You need everything to like be inside the triangles. And like right now it's gonna be a bit messy because I'm just putting them anywhere. But yeah, so like this, I'm watching 2 streams at once. I'm playing Animal Crossing and Pokemon Go. I love multi-twitch, and ADHD gives me superpowers. Heck yeah. I could never. It's like the most multitasking I do is like I usually watch, like I don't watch, I listen to YouTube videos. People tell me that I should listen to podcasts. For whatever reason, it doesn't work. I need to have like a stupid YouTube video running in the background. But yeah, so like this. Now we have that one done. So let's go to the next one. And especially like the eyes take a long time to do because you need them. You need tiny triangles and lots of points so that you can manipulate them a lot. Because I mean, the eye is gonna open and close, so you need to have it so like it doesn't look like weird and choppy or angular in any way. You want it to be smooth and nice. And sometimes I definitely do go overboard with the meshes, making them just like too much, which is not good either. So I have to like dial it back, because the more triangles you have, the bigger, or the more points you have, but everything is right. The more you have, the bigger the file is gonna be. And like, for streaming and stuff, it's you can do you can have a lot of them without it being too troublesome. But if you're like using it for a game, like a lot of like dating sims and stuff use Live 2D models too. And if you have too many points, it's gonna take up a lot of space and be a lot of work for the computer to handle. So it's important to kind of like keep in mind that you want to minimize the amount of unnecessary ones. And here we have a very, very tiny piece with just like 2 tiny lashes. This is going overboard, yeah. Do not need that much. That is fine. Yeah, because they were so far in. So you see like how much that is. Whoops. It's like interactive vector. Yeah, kinda. Except nothing is vector based. But yeah, kinda. Hey, let's zoom into zoom in. Thank you. Get rid of. Oh gosh, I probably should have cleaned those up a bit. But it's gonna be fine. And yeah, so like this, all of these parts together, because they're on one layer when I drew them, they are one art mesh. So when you manipulate them, you can't manipulate them really one at a time. They're all gonna be together. It's crazy advanced. Kinda, like, it's pretty easy to get into. Because, I mean, like, my first, like, 2 or 3 models are kind of crappy. So it's like, that is why I don't have one right now, because I made one for myself first, of course. And it's not good enough that I want to use it, unfortunately. So, but it's like, it's again, it's pretty easy to get into. Because a lot of it is just like time consuming. And it's like, it's a pretty forgiving program too, in that it, like, it warns you a lot of the time if you do something stupid. Although, like, you definitely can mess up too. But like, it's most of it is like you learn pretty fast. Yeah, then the lashes are done. And now we got more lashes. And this is an ugly one. But it's fine. It's fine. No. Oh. Thank you for the follow, Minty. Thank you so much. No. Yeah, so we're making a VTuber model today. And hopefully it's gonna be both fun and entertaining. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, how you doing? I hope you're doing good. I'm doing great. How are you? I'm good. I'm a bit tired after Christmas and stuff, but it's fine. I think everybody is a bit tired in general right now. Yeah, I'm doing good. No, that's understandable. Yeah, so my dad and extra mom, so my dad's wife, were moving right before Christmas. So I spent a week. Oh, hi Tuppies! Hi! Yeah, I spent a week before Christmas and then like also on Christmas just helping with the move and unpacking and stuff. We need them more. Yeah. Thank you. Autumn. Yeah. It was crazy. does not recommend moving like right in the middle of Christmas. It's very stressful. How is you, Tuppies? So happy people are like coming into my stream even though I'm streaming so early. Or super late, depending on where you are, I guess. Stella is lurking, and that is very fine. You're doing so much stuff at the same time. Yeah, I have an alternative motive with the stream too, because there's a convention called Nordic FuzzCon, and they just announced they're doing like an online convention now instead of just waiting for next year because of course like they can't have a convention now. And they're looking for people to like host stuff, so like streams or panels and things. Doing good. Yeah. So happy to hear. I'm doing good too. I'm a bit tired. Like I said, I've been helping my parents move over Christmas. But I'm good. Yeah. Yeah, so the convention, so I'm thinking I could maybe like try and stitch together streams and stuff and maybe make some new content. I'm just so uncomfortable just speaking to a camera. Oh, the eyes are pretty. Thank you. I'll just make this one and then I can zoom out so you can see the entire model. So the model name, well, the customer's name, if you wanna follow them, is Alice Flair. Yeah. So if you check out my Twitter, you can find links and stuff to their handle because I've posted the artwork there before. Oh, okay. Did they move far? No. Like they're a bit far away from me, not super far away, like an hour. But they moved like half an hour by car away from where they used to live, so not super far. But it was pure chaos. They had barely packed half of everything they own. All the furniture and stuff still had stuff in them, and all the cabinets in the kitchen and stuff. When the moving truck came on moving day, and I had spent the days before just like frantically packing, and there was no boxes or anything. It was crazy. But somehow we managed. Oh, I found the artwork. It's adorable. Thank you. Yeah, so yeah, let's zoom out. This is how she looks. The moving must have been stressful. Yeah, it was not fun. Not so bad then, but yeah, moving. Oh, it's chaotic. Yeah. Yeah, very chaotic. But we managed, so it's fine. But yeah, so here's the kitty, and she's obviously not gonna be crying all the time. Are we there? We are. Yeah. Yeah. So this is the first thing you do. Well, no, actually, it isn't. The first thing you do is just open the file. So, like, if you want me, like, if you really want to like know how this works and stuff, I could just like show the very basics too. Like, this is pretty much the first thing you do. No. Connect them. Thank you. So yeah, so like the very first thing you do is like you have a Photoshop file with like all the parts as one layer. So you can't have like the shadow be one layer and the line art be one layer. Every part, so like one ear is one layer and one arm is one layer and things like that. Hi, Whimzie. Oh, hi, Zach. Hi. Thank you so much. So I'm done with your art. So next up, I am gonna start modeling yours too. I still have some art to do and stuff for others. So I'm not exactly sure when I'll be starting on yours. But I'm gonna try and get to it as soon as I can. But yeah, so you, and I hope you're doing good, Zach. I can't wait to start working on yours. Lazy. Oh. But yeah, so you just find your Photoshop file and then you drag it into this window, and then it's gonna like plop in here, and then you're gonna save right away. And then this, which I haven't done yet, is to create a texture atlas. And so then you get something like this, which is like all the parts laid out on just a canvas. And I do need these ones too. They're just invisible right now. Come on. Thank you. And automatic layout. Usually you can just do the automatic layouts depending on like how you do this, because there's a free version of this program and then you have like limitations on the texture atlas and stuff. So then you might want to resize stuff so that the stuff that is you know, more important to be in high resolution, to have them bigger, and other things smaller. Yeah, so then you just press OK, and you can change stuff in the texture atlas as you go. If you want to change stuff, or if like you have a character and then you realize, oh no, I need a hat for it, or glasses or something, then you can add that. Or if you have alternate outfits you want to add later, you just import them and add them either to the same texture atlas, or if you have the pro version, you can just get another texture atlas. And let's see now. Yeah, so yeah, now we can see here. This is something weird going on. The part where the lines aren't connecting. So that is the textures in the texture atlas just being on top of each other somewhere. Oh no, or maybe it's just the I'll get to that later, I guess. Because it's the triangles not being everywhere, I think. It seems to be. Yeah. So then it's your turn. Well, I'll get to that eventually, because I'm gonna go through all of the parts of the model to make sure everything is looking as nice as it can, so we can move as efficiently as possible. I'm using Krita when I doodle. It's a free program. Yeah, I use Krita too. I really like it. I've been planning to move to Paint Tool Sai, and I've tried it like a bunch of times. But I've never had the like energy and calm and brain power to actually change. And I want to like get used to the program before I like spend the money to actually buy it, in case I don't like it. But yeah, at some point I'm probably gonna switch to Sai, because the little I have tried it, I like the line art, how that works a lot better. It feels smoother when I draw, which is super nice. But yeah, in Krita you can export as a Photoshop file, which you can with most like decent art programs. So you don't actually have to have Photoshop, because Photoshop is very expensive, especially since you can't even buy it. You have to like what's the word, prenumerera in Swedish. We'll pay for it every month that you use it, whatever that word is. Yeah, subscription, that's a word. Subscription free, yeah. Yeah, my English is kind of bad today. For whatever reason. Might as YouTube. Yeah, that's fine. Here we go. Annual subscription, but Photoshop don't have a free version, right? No, there is. They have a kind of a free version of Photoshop. It's a web application. I don't remember quite the name, but it's basically Photoshop, but in a web browser, and that is free. But I would rather recommend you just like get Krita or any free or cheaper art program instead of using a web application, because that is in the end just gonna be not as good and powerful. Oh, hi Sakina! How is you? I hope you're doing good. So many people coming in to watch my stream today. I'm so happy. So happy. I really hope you're doing good. I really like it. Yeah, I really do too. I was honestly surprised when I found out it wasn't a Swedish program, because crayon in Swedish is krita. So I figured like, well, that makes sense. It would be Swedish, right? But no, apparently it's not. I don't remember what the name comes from, but it's from something else. Yeah, in Swedish it means crayon, which is just super adorable, and I don't actually need to change you. So, because this is just the highlights, and they're not gonna really change shape a lot. They're gonna move around, but they're gonna stay pretty static in their shape. So we don't need to have a bunch of stuff for them, really. So that is perfectly fine. And that's gonna be the same for you. Yeah. And yeah, I guess this one. Okay. This one we can change a bit because it is gonna follow the shape of the upper eyelid. So then it's a bit more important that it does follow the shape properly. I don't know where this ends. I think it ends there. And auto connect. Yeah. Yeah, so this is the tedious, not so fun part. And it's pretty much the biggest reason I haven't really streamed making models before, because I've made a lot of models by now, like at least a handful of them. And I've been planning all the time that I'm gonna stream how I do this, because there are people asking me how they work and stuff, like how you make them, and then I just feel like this, like how fun is this to watch? I'm still not sure it's very fun, but like it's the first part, and like I think like I might as well show this too, because it is an important part of how the program works, because you do need to do this first. And then here again, because we are not going to be manipulating the iris shape a lot. So we don't need to be very very precise and stuff with this. But we still want to get like everything in here somewhere, but so we don't miss a part of the eye or something like that. But we're not gonna move it a lot, so in that sense you don't need to have as many points. I'm just gonna put those there because it looks nicer. Joseph Kida is German, but the name was inspired. Oh, it was awesome! It's very interesting to see how much work goes into the models. I find that fun. Awesome! Yeah, it's a lot of work, but like this part, like just making these things. Again, I usually don't do it on streams and stuff, and it is pretty relaxing to me because it's like just making a bunch of triangles. So it's kind of like a pretty zen thing to do, if that makes sense. Kind of like knitting or something, where it's like you don't need to use a lot of brain power. You just like make triangles. So in that sense, like it takes a lot of time, but this part isn't very, like, it's not all that brain power heavy, I guess. Yeah, and now we're back to making the smaller triangles, since this is the eye whites, and it's gonna be again like moving, so it's like just so flat it's like pretty much see-through, or like you can't see it because it's just a thin line. And I'm being really weird about these. And new words. Yeah, so we need a lot of triangles, so it's not impossible to like really manipulate the shape of it a lot. Yeah, after this is when like the thing that's most stressful for me happens, which is the putting parameters, not parameters, deformers in. Because I tend to forget making all of the transformers, so I do not enough of them, or I make unnecessary ones, or I forget to name them properly and then I get confused. That's not good. Go there, and then once again, like just no, it's too ugly. Yeah, because like we at least I miss these streams. Oh, thank you. I'm so happy you're here to watch. I guess we'll just and there, that's fine. I'm so happy you enjoy them. So many triangles. There we go. And then here we got like even worse like than the eyes. They do move a lot. The mouth, because you want to make a lot of different shapes with it. You have even more like manipulation. So this is when it starts being very, very tiny triangles. Here. There we go. We're not just moving everything. Oops. That's not right. Why? No. There we go. Okay. No. Now let's move everything so it's the way it's supposed to be. We don't want too much like outside space that is like empty. Because we don't actually need to move nothing when we animate. We just want to move the actual art. And we want it to be like somewhat even, since we want them out words. Yeah, and these are fine. And this is here. This is the mouth, and this is why it was invisible. And then there's also blushies, because this is a mess, but it's gonna be fine when it's actually like all put together. It's just like they all have shapes that doesn't really match in the like default states. In order to like be easier to get into all of the shapes. again, like the most important thing is that all of the art is inside a triangle, and that everything is actually triangles. Because otherwise it's gonna be like it's not gonna work as well. You can leave like squares and stuff, or like points that doesn't really connect into a triangle. But the program isn't gonna be happy about it, so you might as well just try your best to make super neat triangles as best as you can. And if it's not perfectly perfect, it's fine. Just do your best with it. You know, if you don't do like spend a lot of time making this as good as it can be in the beginning, you can change all of these points like at any point, even when I've started animating and stuff, but it's gonna affect what you've already done. So you're gonna end up having to redo a lot of finicky stuff, and that's not fun. Or you're just gonna be unhappy with the results. So it's much better to actually spend a lot of time on this. And this one is like one of those also. The tongue isn't gonna do a lot of different shapes. So then here is the auto. You can also press this one. But when you open the like not auto, the manual, when everything else is kind of grayed out, so it's easier to see. And then here is standard, little, heavy, and ignore the other two. I tried working with those things, like adding new ones. Don't see much point in that. So yeah, the standard is what I usually use, and then here's the different things you can change, like the outside margin. Like, don't need to have a lot of space outside again, so we can put that down. And then here's the inside, how close it is to the side inside, and that we can make a little bit less too. And now I got really messy. Oh, that's fine. And then you see here that it's kind of uneven and sad. That's kind of just how it is when you do the auto thing. It's not very smart. So here we have more points than on this side, and here we have a lot more points than on that side. So sometimes it's easy to fix, and sometimes it's just easier to do it yourself. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Two, three, 1, 2. Yeah. And we can just connect it like that, because it doesn't really matter the inside, because again, the tongue isn't really gonna do a lot of movement. It's gonna be a little bit when it's like the head is looking to the left or to the right. It's gonna change a little bit the shape, but not that much. Here, though, the inside of the mouth, because of how I make them, this is gonna change its shape a lot. So here again, we're just gonna do everything from scratch. And then just putting the outside points. So I'm putting them like in between two all the time to make triangles and making sure I have the correct number of points. I think pretty much by now everything I do is kind of self-explanatory, because I'm just doing the same thing over and over again on different parts. And again, this is why I haven't done these streams before, because it just doesn't seem like it's a lot of fun to watch. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Quarter Studios, for the follow. Thank you so much. And welcome to my stream. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Or maybe we should just... Yeah, let's go... No. No one was... So yeah, I miss placing them on the already existing line, so that is why I'm removing them again. Some of the points that I make, because instead they're like in the middle, or like really close to the line, and I've just missed it when I made them in the first place, and then it just doesn't line up properly, and everything's a mess. So yeah, that is why I do that. And that's fine. Let's go to the plushies. Let's hide the horribleness that is the rest of the mouth again. I'm not ready for that. And again, like the plushies are not gonna change shape too much. They are gonna move with the face and stuff, but it's not gonna be that big a difference. But the problem that is here is that the program is being confused because it's a fluffy shape. So the two blushes, even though they're identical pretty much, are really different in the meshes. It bugs me. So I'm just gonna change them, I guess. Why did I do that? Yeah, that's fine. And then all the way down to pants will go. I mean, they're kind of pants. And I think we can like that is fine. And that looks fine too. Yeah, because now we're kind of done with the parts that are most troublesome, mainly for the program to auto make. So now it's mainly just like finicking around a bit to make it work just a little bit better. I think that's fine. There's no reason to put a bunch of work into doing something when the computer can do it just as well as me. Water break. Yeah. And the eyeshadow, I mean, it looks pretty fine. Let's just again change these numbers until we find something we're happy with. Like I'm kind of happy with that one. Just gonna move things a little bit. Yeah, that looks good to me. And then the other one. And here again we can see like it's not gonna make the exact same shape, even though like the eyeshadow parts are exactly the same. They're just copied. But it's not gonna want to make it the exact same. So that is just how it works. I mean that is close enough, and let's just remove all of that, and I'm not sure I made it better. Let's just double check. Yeah, so yeah, that is the outline and nothing else. And as we can see, it's super messy and not nice. And it doesn't want to be nice. And you can see weird choppy bits in it. I'm not sure why it does that. I'm just gonna, because if I save now, before making a mesh, it's all gonna disappear. So I'm just gonna auto connect. So now we have everything, and it should be complete at least. And yeah, now it's no longer broken. So we can then take away the crappy points and then do it properly. Okay, I'm gonna need my mouse again. I'm working at a the disk itself isn't tiny, but I have a tiny spot on a disk because I'm kind of in between homes right now. So I'm staying at a friend's place, and I got half their disk space, which is super nice, but it's not a lot of disk space. So I can have. I don't have space for a mouse or a keyboard pretty much, but I make it work. It's interesting to work this way. The first week I got here, I didn't have a keyboard at all. That made for very interesting work. Because like, you know, you want to use your shortcuts, right? When you draw and stuff. And I couldn't. So the last batch of commissions, Like everything that's done end up on my Twitter and like for Affinity, anything like that. They were all finished without a keyboard. Well, I mean, I had the on-screen keyboard, but like, you can't really use that while drawing or anything like that. So yeah, that was very interesting. And I also got a new tablet at the same time. So like trying to figure out my new tablet and everything, and then at the same time not having a keyboard, very, I don't recommend it. Not at all. Keyboards, very useful. Somewhere else. And then so the face shape also is gonna be like changed and manipulated in the shape a lot. Not as extreme as like the mouth or the eyes. But it is gonna be manipulated, so it's very good to have like a stable amount of points in your art mesh. But then there's like, depending on like what style you have or like what kind of model you're making, because you don't need to have a face that like looks left and right or up and down. You can have it just like be straightforward all the time, or just a little bit to the right or to the left. When I started out, I thought I made like, wow, it's looking all the way to the right, or it's looking so much up. And when I look at the models, like the first model I made now, it's like it barely moves. Like but you can still like make a lot happen with very small movements. And if you have a model that doesn't necessarily need to have all of that movement, you do like save a lot of time in rigging, and you're gonna end up with like a functioning nice model, and you don't have to have as many points like on the face or something like that. And usually, is as you see, like this is just the outline, so the line art of the face. Usually you have the like the entire face, like with the color and everything on the same layer. The reason I split it up in some models, not all of them, is if like there's a lot of facial markings. So like if it's a tiger, or in this case a cat, and there's a lot of like stuff going on and moving around, it really helps me to make sure everything can look like it's moving correctly, if I have the markings on its own layer and stuff. Oh, that was stupid. Let's zoom out a bit so we can get this entire thing. Let's see, it's too many points. And as you can see, like you can unwind or like undo a lot of times in this program, which is just super nice. It just makes work a lot easier. And like a lot of like art programs and stuff where it's like it's pretty limited. Actually, like let's go crazy, have a lot of these. Wait, what is it that is not? Yeah, like the kind of like diamond shape is how the program wanna fill in shapes by itself. And that is kind of what I'm mimicking, and I'm not as good at it as the rest of the as the AI thingy is on its own. Well, I mean, also I don't actually. Because the inside here is empty. I don't really need to have. I need to have something because it is enclosed. Like that looks horrible, but it should work just fine. And this is a shadow layer, so that when the hair moves, I can have the shadows move without moving the entire face. And I think this too is just like I can just. Okay, it's gonna be ugly no matter what. Fine, that is fine. So yeah, so here is the spots on the face. It's like they aren't part of like the base face color, and that is like because when the body moves or like the head moves, I want to make sure that the spots follow the eyes and it looks 3D and nice and not just flat and weird, which is like in my experience. I'm sure there's people who are way better than me at making models and are way more experienced. I can just like do magic, make it look awesome, but I need to have it in like different layers, and you can see that it goes outside the face, and that's not very nice. So how you do that is you take, because this is the face, like the blank face color, and we want the spots to only be on the face. So you take the ID of the base face, and then on the spots, the clipping ID, you put that there, press enter, and now there, it's only gonna be showing on the face. So yeah, so if I move this, it's gonna look weird, but it's not gonna show up anywhere it's not supposed to. And you can see the same like here, on the eyes, on the upper eyeline lashes thingy. There's a weird blob, and that is the iris that is poking up outside the eye, which also of course we don't want, so I'm gonna clip that too, so that everything just works nicely together is my plan. And then yeah, this looks good already. Here we got the left hair, and here we can see like the weirdness. Let's see if we can. I mean, kind of, but not really. You know, this is when you start getting the weird bunches. We don't want bunching to occur. And we don't want too many or too few triangles. Like I already said, like what if we like that, and then just this feels like a bit of a problem area. Yeah, we can just fix that. It's way faster and easier than having to redo the entire thing. And then here is also a bit unnecessary triangles. So we'll just do that. Now we save like 4 triangles or something, or points, which is not a lot, but I mean, you want to save them wherever you can. More water break. And yeah, so let's see if this one wanna work here too. Again, because like they do. Where did it go away? Where did you go? What happened here? The mesh, how? Okay, this has never happened to me before, that the automatic mesh generator is open, that it doesn't complete itself with triangles. That is kind of like the one thing it does, just making, yeah, so yeah, it's open. So yeah, and that is what happens then when the mesh is open, so you don't have triangles everywhere. Is not completed the art inside the mesh, because the mesh isn't complete, you can't see the art. Yeah, this is the first time it's happened to me, that like the automatic version like thingy doesn't complete it. I wonder why it does that. This is super confusing. Super confusing. I do not trust the automatic thingy anymore. At least not with this piece of hair. Since it clearly doesn't like it, I'm just gonna go in here and ask the big question of why. Huh? There and let's just redo all of that. Yeah, that feels better to me. And then we'll get the inner ear. So yeah, again, while the ear kind of is one thing, we have the inner ear moving. So the inner ear is on top of the outer ear, which I guess is weird, but it's again just to like give the illusion of depth, because this is just a flat image that we're gonna have like make it so it looks like it moves in 3D. So there's a lot of weird trickery like that, and I think that is fine as it is, and that goes for that one too. They are not gonna be moving super crazy, and that works too, and that works too. And here's the cleavage. Yeah, so like it's just like these lines. So without it, it looks like that, and it's so that when the torso looks like I can bend it so like one boob comes the top of the other, and then on the other side the opposite happens, without having to have two boobs, like separate boobs, boob arts, or two separate boobs that I need to like change between which one is on the front and which one is in the back, because there's not gonna be any crazy boob physics on this one, or anything like that, so it should just be fine like this. Again, there's no need to like put in a lot of extra work in something that isn't gonna really show or matter in the end. It's just like a whole waste of space, waste of time. Yeah, and here we have like the actual boob or like chest area, and the lock, and that's fine. And choker is fine, and the neck is fine. And this is the back choker. So you can barely see, but again, like this kind of explains like how they work. The models. So like this is the front, and then because like it goes behind the neck, I have a back piece. So that is this one that goes like behind the neck. So we have the neck in between, and this is how it looks like without the neck. So a lot of things that are one thing, in reality, you make into separate parts, so that one can go in front of something and one can go behind. Yeah. And it's the tummy, and she is fine. She's not gonna do a whole lot. And the arm is fine, and that one is fine too, and that one is more than fine. I can probably get rid of a lot of these, because this one is not gonna move a lot. There we go. Just like use the light a bit less. Let's see, and yeah, I have done the nose, and I think the tears are fine too. Yeah, and then the glasses. Yeah. So then all of this is done. So let's press save before we lose our work. Because I did just today they came out with a new version, so I'm on 4.0.07 Cubism, and that is the latest one, and I'm not sure how stable it is, so I really should save as often as I can, because it is a bit of a finicky program sometimes, and it doesn't want to work. Yeah, so even like with the last version I had, which was the stable version, it did crash sometimes, and mainly like the biggest problem was like parts of the program would start working, so like not the entire thing, it's just like all of a sudden, let's just, for the sake of it, let's create a deformer for the glasses. I'm not gonna name it anything, and then here are like the different points that you can use to change it, and then you can have glasses that look like this for some reason. But yeah, and especially the deformers would like stop working properly every now and again with the old version, and that's no good. So I would have to restart every once in a while. But yeah, I'm thinking I am gonna take a little bit of a break. So yeah, I'm gonna put in a tiny ad break. If you don't want to watch the ads, just go look on something on YouTube for 60 seconds, or yeah. But yeah, I'm gonna be back in just a little bit. So yeah, be back right soon. Yeah. And I'm back. Let's get rid of the BRB sign. Yeah. Let's I'm just gonna advertise my stream a little bit more. So I'm gonna start working really soon again. Just wanna get stuff done first. Because streaming is way more fun when you can actually like stream with people, or like have people watching you and interacting. I think at least. So just gonna do that real quick. Yeah. Okay. Let's start working again then. Yeah. So now we're gonna be making all of the deformers, and how you wanna do that is like you how do I explain the deformers? So yeah, like the deformers is like what you use to like manipulate all the parts. So like to make things move, and you want to start with like the I don't know how to explain it. I'm just gonna do it. Okay. So let's start with the eyes. I'm taking all of the parts of the right eye, and the right lashes, and the inner lash, and that is all of the entirety of the right eye. And we're gonna call it right eye and XY for adjustments. And here is so like the divisions, so like how many parts it's divided into, and then the Bezier divisions. I've never had to say the word out loud, so like it's extra stuff that is important and stuff. But yeah, and yeah, figuring out how many of these you need is just trial and error. I can't always know ahead of time either, so I just like I put in how many I think I need, and then when we go in here, if I think like, oh, I need more more on this side, so like that's the busier divisions. There's the regular ones, but I think that this is fine. And then let's go with the all of the left eye. There we go. And let's make left eye XY adjustments and create. And now we have those. And awesome. So then what if I want to have them move together? Because right now if I want to move this one, it's gonna move on its own, and then this one is gonna move on its own. But what if I want them to move, what if I want to move them together? So then we make another one that I'm just gonna call ice XY adjustments, and you can name them whatever you want as long as you like know what you mean. And here we can see it, because now we have the same number of divisions and Bezier divisions, and it feels a bit wonky. So like I don't need all 3 of the Bezier divisions here, so I'm gonna take those away. And then with this one I'm just gonna add another one, so we have more of a square, and that works best for me. And so then the reason why I don't put deformers on like these, like the inner and outer lashes and stuff, is because we have these things, which I'm gonna go into later. But it's like a line tool thingy. We'll get into that later. And yeah. So then there's this like putting deformers into everything, and generally like these deformers are wanna be smaller than the deformers they are inside. So it's kind of like, think of it as folders. So like in this ice folder we have the right eye folder and the left eye folder, and then in the left eye folder we have all of these parts, and you need the biggest folder, so the biggest deformer to be bigger than the smaller ones, so that they fit inside each other. You don't have to make it that way, like the program is not going to crash or anything, but it's gonna be better to do it that way. And I'm also gonna just go ahead and clip everything, so the iris is stuck in the eye whites, and then the same with the eye shines. And if you're like confused about some of the names of my stuff, yeah, I'm not good at naming stuff when I work, when I draw and stuff. So right now it seems that everything at least is in English. A lot of the time I switch between English and Swedish, depending on just like what is the shorter word, because I don't want to have like too long words, because it's just cumbersome to look at, and sometimes I just forget which language I'm using, so I switch between them. And then we'll save. And I'm very popular all of a sudden, I'm sorry about that. But yeah, so that is how they the deformers work in a nutshell. And then there's also this thing, which is a different kind. So instead of using this for the arm, which is like, because the arms are gonna go, I mean, like this usually. They don't really change shape that much. So instead of having the regular deformers, that is gonna be a lot more work. You can have a rotation deformer. So do right arm XY adjustments. Great. And then we have like this thing, and yeah, so this isn't perfect. So what we want to do is, let's see if I, yeah, so we want to move it. Now I can't see because the hair is in the way, so I would usually move the hair. So like this is the point from where it spins, and this you want to have like in the direction of the object, so it moves along with the arm. And as you can see, she is not made to move her arms upwards because she doesn't have an armpit. But yeah, so that is how that one works. And I'm just gonna remove her, him, the deformer again, because I'm gonna get confused doing both the head and the body at the same time. Because that's how I work. And then with nose, we also want the. Do you want anything else in the XY adjustment? No, we don't. Nose, XY adjustments. And the reason I put adjustments in there is because after everything is done, I'm gonna put everything in like a bigger deformer that is just like head XY. And so like I can do the very first pass, or like the big movements. I can move everything together, so I don't have to move it all one at a time. It doesn't work to make like really extreme stuff, but at least for me, it's a good start, so I can see where I'm going with it. Something that smarter people than me do is they have sketches. So like they do their model ready, and then they have sketches for like, this is how I want it to look when it looks to the side, and this is how I want it to look when it looks up and down, or happy or sad. And then you have like a guide that you can look at to see like how you want to move everything. And that is a really good way to do it. I'm just too lazy. So I just wing it, but it works perfectly fine for me. I think especially because I, with these ones, I'm using my own art. So I already know all the pieces because I already made it, and I know how I want it to look. Because again, I made the art. A lot of the time with these ones, with VTuber models and stuff, you have one person that do the art, and then the art is sent off to someone who does the modeling, because it's two very different skill sets and doesn't translate between each other. But I do both because I've been doing art for years and years, and then I found like everyone else, the VTubers and the HoloLive girls. So I had to, like, I fell in love and I had so much fun watching them like everybody else. And then just thought, I want to make one for myself. It looks so much fun. So I figured out how they're made, and then just had a lot of fun with it. And now, like, half a year later, I'm making these for others because I'm just having a lot of fun with it. And let's see what I need. Yeah, because so this is where like the planning and brain stuff comes in. Is now I need to figure out like what how many parameters are the glasses gonna be a part of. But I don't think I would need them for anything else though. And then the same is with the tears. They are also only gonna be affected by the XY movements. Now I can see I spelled, no, why doesn't the J, oh, who cares? No, thank you. And then there's the brows, and they are also gonna be using this tool for a lot of it. But they so if we go down here, we can see that we have brow Y, brow A, X, brow angle, and brow form. So that is 4 parameters, and you don't want to have more than 2. Generally, you can have 3, but no more than that for a single deformer or a single object. That was a kitty. So you want to make more deformers pretty much for anything you're gonna do with it. So the art itself is gonna be on the form using this tool. And then I'm gonna have like the angle and the X and Y. So what I need for the right brow is to make one of these, and it's gonna be R brow angle. And then the angle, you know, there's a kitty and he's gonna want to be on my lap. And then the R brow XY. And then the brows also are gonna be affected by the head tilting, so like the head going up and down and left to right. So then we need another one that is for the R brow XY adjustments. There's probably better ways to name that, and as you can see, it's bigger. Like this one is smaller, and then this one is a little bit bigger. And then the same with the other one. And yeah, so that is how you do this. And then the same is with the mouth. I am gonna use another tool than the deformers for pretty much all of it. So I'm just gonna take all of the mouth pieces, so the like, upper lip mouth, like the thing you can see now, and the teeth, and the lower mouth, and the tongue, and the like inner mouth. And I'm just gonna put them into one that is mouth XY adjustments, and that is everything that one needs to. Now I can see we already have a bunch of a kitty. We already have a lot of deformers. And then the blushies. Well, I guess we might as well. A lot of the time, like with the blushies, I don't even care to give them a deformer. Now there's a kitty on my lap. Do you want to at least lay down so I can work? Thank you. yeah, so brush XY adjustments. And again, like we have way too much. And just gotta go that way because we don't need a lot of them. Yeah, and then with the body, because oh yeah, we're not doing the body like this yet. Wow, I am not good with words today. Yeah, the body is gonna be a little bit different. Yeah, and with the bangs, and like the hair in general, because we want it to sway a little bit and have a bit of physics. And the physics again, I usually do with the other tool. So yeah, I wouldn't need that, but we need L bang XY adjustments, and then we also need F bang Z adjustments, because the Z, so like the just tilting your head to the left and right, and that doesn't affect like your eyes or anything. Like they are gonna be on the same spot on the face or on the head, but the hair, because it's free flowing, it's gonna like move a little bit so that it doesn't like it doesn't go like this. It just stays good. And not like you have all of the hairspray. Right, bang XY adjustments. Left bang Z adjustments. Oh yeah, and the eyeshadows. Just yeah, we can, if you find stuff later on that you want somewhere, you can put them in into the deformer even if they wasn't there to begin with. But I also do want to have a deformer on these because I do think it's gonna help with both like the blinking to have a deformer maybe, or maybe do I? No, I don't. But I do need to have a separate deformer for the X and Y adjustments, because it's not really a part of the eye, it's a part of the eyelid. So it's gonna move a little bit out of sync, so to say, from the rest of it. Come to speak of it, that goes for the lashes too. L eyeshadow, shadow, no, XY adjustments, and then again, yeah, so like for these lashes, specifically the inner lashes, that is I think also a good idea to have inner lashes XY adjustments, and I'm just gonna do the minimum amount available of divisions and stuff, because we do not need a lot. Right, hi. Oh, thank you so much for the follow. Thank you. Poppins Candy Dries. Yay. Thank you. And welcome so much to my stream. Right eyeshadow XY adjustments. Great. And then that one. Because again, we don't want to have them on too many parameters. So you want to make another deformer for pretty much every parameter, or at least every parameter that isn't directly working together with another one. So that is why I put X and Y in the same one, because they kind of work together. Hi, I hope you're doing good, Poppins Candy Draws. I'm sorry for butchering your name. Inner lashes XY adjustments. And preferably you don't want these long names, so if you can just name everything shorter, find ways to like shortcut everything, it helps a lot, because like this starts to be hard to read. You have to actually read them to figure out what it is you're doing, what it is, unlike like eyes or right eye XY adjustments that I can just look at and know what it means. Yeah, so that is a good tip. I'm good. I'm so happy to hear. How are you doing? I'm doing good. I'm getting back into working after the holidays, and finally getting to modeling some. I've been just working on the art for this month's commissions, all of December. So finally, I'm getting to starting to model some of them. So that is really fun. So head, hair, and again we want the XY adjustments. The adjustments. There we go. And then the same with that one. So right here, XY adjustments, and right here, Z adjustments. And if you feel like I'm typing really slowly, that is because I have an awful keyboard. Is one of those like super tiny cramped ones, and I also have a kitty on my lap. So yeah. And so then we have the spots, and just gonna call them spots, not sports. XY adjustments, and that is all we need for them, because they are not gonna do anything else really. And then we need the base face and the shadow. So we're just gonna call it head, maybe face XY adjustments, and then the shadow. Oh yeah, we need to what am I doing? It doesn't really matter because the rest of the face is covered by the hair in this case. What am I doing? There. So then now the shadow is gonna only show up on the face. I am sorry, my Wi-Fi is bad. I will catch up with you soon. Oh no, bad Wi-Fi is bad. Thank you so much for wanting to watch at least. And welcome back when you come back. Oh yeah, and then the shadow is gonna need a separate deformer for physics. And then yet another one for the X and Y adjustments and the C adjustments, because it moves with the hair. So everywhere the hair moves separately from the face, we need to have a deformer for the shadow too. Shadow XY adjustments, and then shadow C adjustments. And as you can see now, it's way bigger than the actual face adjustments, but that is fine. In this case, do as I say, not as I do. And then we have the ears, and then the head. No, yeah, we have the back hair too. Let's do that right away. The back hair isn't really gonna do much. It's pretty much just there to fill out any gaps when the hair in the front moves, so we don't see like backspace. So yeah, it's just there. So it's not gonna move a lot, but we still want kitty. Back hair X Y adjustments, and hair C adjustments, and that is gonna be it. I don't even know if I'm gonna need both of those. Yeah, so now then it's just the ears left, and the inner ear I am not gonna give its own deformer, because I think I'm gonna be again fine just using the other tool directly on the art itself. So I'm just gonna put all of them together. So the inner and the outer ear, the left ear, XY adjustments, no, physics, because they're gonna have physics. Left ear, and then we have the XY adjustments, and then this C adjustment. Because to me it looks better with like it's just like a tiny bit, like it when the head goes, like, when the entire model like tilts its head this way, that the ear goes like out a little bit this way, and then the other one goes more up, and then the opposite on the other side. Yeah, to me that looks more alive. It's just a tiny thing, so you can't really see it too much. Like it's not gonna be super noticeable, but it's gonna just make it feel a bit more alive. Yeah, so that is why we played physics. Deformer, and then the X and Y. And then the C adjustment. There we go, and that is now all of the entirety of the head is within these deformers. And then we're gonna take nose, the glasses. Wait, why do we have two glasses? You are tears, I'm sorry. There we go. And now kitty left. the tears and the brows and the blush and yeah, so yeah, it's the face itself, it's not the ears or the hair, because they tend to move like the opposite direction. So, like when the eyes go that way, the ears go this way. So having all of them in the same deformer doesn't usually do much for the X and Y, but just like everything that is plastered on the face itself, I like to put in. So I'm gonna put it in the head, XY, and then that one, along with all of these, are gonna be head C adjustment. So now we can move the head a bit. It looks really weird now, but it's gonna look better later. That is why we have all of these extra C adjustments, so we can make it look good. And then it's just these parts left. And then we have all of the deformers ready, and then we can actually start doing something. And it's just taken 2.5 hours, almost. Well, pretty much 2 hours. I've been talking, and I did take a break earlier and stuff, so yeah. So then we got the pants, and they are not gonna have any physics, so we don't need to add anything for that. We just need the pants XY adjustments, and then with the shirt, also need the shirt XY adjustments. Right. This is not a schist, it's a hirt. Nice. He is also gonna need a Z adjustment, because when you tilt your head from left to right, you just move everything. Like, your head is not malleable, it's just one lump of bone pretty much, so it's gonna keep the same shape. But when you move your body, tilting that from left to right, you can like, everything is like changing its shape a lot more. So everything pretty much is gonna need its own Z deformer. Thank you. To make sure it doesn't just look like it's moving weirdly, so it looks more oh, thank you. And then so that goes also for the shirt adjustments. So we need the shirt Z adjustments, and for that one. But with this one, we're gonna have a little bit of physics. So we're gonna start with shirt bust physics. And it's not gonna be a lot, so it's not to make it look like super bouncy and noticeable. It's just, again, to give it more life. I do have a model I made last month that is very heavy on the boob physics. It was a lot of fun to make, but not everybody wants that, and if it's not something a customer says they want, I'm not gonna force them to have like super sexy, bouncy, like dead or alive levels of boob physics, because, you know, like that doesn't work with all characters. Yeah. Shirt Z, no, XY adjustments, and then Search first Z adjustments. I think I might need a food break because my brain is not really working anymore. And then we got cleavage. Let's see, because we're gonna have a little bit of physics, and then the moving from in the X and Y directions, and then also the C direction. Oh, I think we're gonna go with X, Y adjustments. We'll do the other thingy. There we go. That looks nice. And then cleavage, Z adjustments. There we go. And then we got the bust itself. So we're gonna go bust physics and bust XY adjustments and oh, the pretty peach. You're supposed to be working. Why are you here? Also, it might have been a while since you wrote that. I'm sorry if I missed you. The adjustments. There we go. I am working. Yeah. And do the lock. And we're gonna have physics on that one too. Physics. And lock XY adjustments. And lock Z adjustments. Yeah, like generally you don't want to have too many deformers that you don't want to have more deformers than you're gonna use, because they also like take up space and like make the model a bigger, heavier file. But you also don't want to have too few, because that is also gonna lead to performance issues and stuff. Again, like you don't want to use more than 2. You can use 3, use them on 3 parameters, but preferably not. Yeah, so it's a lot of stuff to think about. And yeah, so we got the choker. We don't need physics. The X and Y we are gonna need, but we're not gonna need the C. So it's just choker, XY adjustments. And the choker, yeah, so here we can see back, which is back in Swedish. So I did mix and match a little bit. And now we got the neck. And the neck is not gonna have physics, but it's gonna have X and Y adjustments. And do we need C adjustments? Maybe. Do we? Yeah, I think we maybe do want neck the there we go. We can see again, like it's all kinds of wacky That is a much better way to keep it. So it's here. Again, like that can be changed. Like before you use the deformer, you can change it around and stuff. Again, the choker, back choker, I don't think I'm gonna need a single deformer for, so I'm just gonna leave it because it barely shows, and I can use like this thingy for if there is any parameter that I do need to use like that specifically. Because we're also gonna take the choker, the neck, and then the choker and the lock, and put all of them together. No, I'm stupid. I don't want to do that. I want to put all of it into the neck. We got the choker, the lock, and the neck. Do I need? No, I don't need to put them in the X and Y. Because I'm gonna have to change that around anyway, and it's not gonna move too much. So then we got the tiny bit of tummy here that's showing. That again I put on its own layer. Like all of the shirt, the tummy, and the pants could be in the same art mesh, like on its own layer altogether, and flat, and it would look decent. I just think like it's gonna give a bit more dimension, seeing that like the shirt can move a little bit separately from the tummy. So like if you've ever had a shirt that is like a little bit short, so you show a little bit of tummy or hips or something, even if it's tight, it's gonna move a little bit on its own. It's not gonna be glued to your body. So I want to make sure that it doesn't look like it's glued there, and it can move on its own. So that is why the tummy has its own part too. So we're gonna have the tummy XY adjustments, and it's not gonna move too much. For it to move a lot and look natural, you would preferably have the white parts on its own layer. That way you can move the white part, so like the front of the belly, move that on the rest of the body, and it will look super good, nice. And I didn't do that, so but I also think that it's not gonna be that needed. And then the C adjustments too we need. Tummy Z. There we go. Let's close these. And then it's just the arms. So again, we're gonna. So up here we have all of the parts and in what order they are drawn. So like the lower you are here. So the back here is the lowest part, so it's behind everything else. And then the very top is the glasses, so the glasses are on top of everything else. So this is just like how it's grouped in folders. It's not the draw order. And the numbers here, you can change the draw order by hand, which is really useful if you have something like that. As the character moves, something that used to be in front might be in the back, or used to be in the back, it might be in the front. So then like setting all these up by hand, so you have like them being the numbers being in draw order instead of all being 500. That is good. I'm not gonna need that for this model, so I haven't bothered with it. But if it's something you want to do, I have models where I've had to change the draw order and then do that right away. Like, do it now or earlier. Don't do it later because it's gonna be a headache. So do that as soon as you can. But yeah, we're here in order to find the hair and just hide them for now, so we can see where the where we want to put this thing, the rotation deformer. So right arm and X, Y. I have forgotten something. And that is breathing. So we want the breathing in the bottom. And here and there. And then we're gonna get another one. And that is gonna be right. I'm gonna add the breathing to the other parts that need breathing in a little bit. You just gotta gonna finish the arms first and then add a breathing deformer to like the chest and stuff. So we can have some breathing going on. Right arm, X, Y, before me. Adjustments, create. So yeah, and then because we put it in like on top of another one, it stays on the same place, but we still gotta move the angle. And then getting another one. So right arm, Z, adjustments, so that the arms doesn't flail around as you tilt your head. Because usually you still have your arms pretty low down. They don't go flying. So that is why we have the Z adjustments too. And then for this one, we have the left arm, breathing, and creates. And you control click to move this. If you don't, it's gonna move everything. Over there, and then we have after the breathing, we have the left arm, XY adjustments, and then we move it down, and then we get another one, left arm, Z adjustment, create, and what? And there we go. Let's see, we can get the hair back up so we don't forget. And it's really far down. You're not really breathing so much with like your hips. So we don't really need breathing for that one, and we don't really need it for the neck itself. I'm gonna have it so like the. Well, I mean, yeah. Let's do it for the neck. Although I guess yeah, we want the choker and everything, so we'll just put it on top. Usually I want the breathing like in the lowest part of the hierarchy of every like stack of deformeries. but it's gonna be on the top for this one. And then we got the bust. So we're gonna go all the way inside and find the art mesh. And then in that one, we're gonna go bust, breathing. And then the cleavage is gonna have breathing too. And the thing for the bust part of the shirt. Putting, there we go. And then the shirt itself. And like you can go ham with breathing if you want to, like make everything move. Because how all the other parameters work is that when you move, or the person who uses them, or if you're using it for face tracking, so like a VTuber model, it's gonna move the way you move. But the breathing is like on a timer. So it goes from one end of like here and then to here, and it goes back and forth all the time. So you get like the breathe in, breathe out motion on its own. And if you want to be crazy, you can add a lot of stuff. So like if you have a character with a tail, you can add the tail to the breathing, so like it sways back and forth and stuff like that. So yeah, you can do a lot of fun stuff with the breathing. Yeah. So wait, let's see. Shirt, breathing. And the pants doesn't really breathe either. So then what we're left with is the head. So we're just gonna get all of this stuff. We're gonna add another one. Head, breathing. Because we want the head to go a bit up and down too. We're just gonna put that there. And that is all of the deformers. So like now when everything is closed, it doesn't look like we have a lot of stuff. But then here is everything we actually have here. So as you can see, it is still a lot of stuff. There's a lot of deformers. So from here all the way down here, it's all of our deformers. Not all of them. There's some in here because I have stuff in folders. So the head is in one folder from when I drew it. When you put stuff in folders, the folders are gonna be translated to here. So it was just to keep stuff organized when I was drawing, and now it's here too because I forgot to wait. Mouth here, and then here's all the in the eyes folder. For some reason we have the head and stuff, but yeah, what? Yeah, it works. It works. It's fine. But yeah, so that's kind of how that works. And I mean, I guess we should also do like one with all of them, make a giant deformer with everything, and do body Z adjustment. I guess it wouldn't really need to be an adjustment. No. Yeah, so then how I like to start is to start with angle X. There's also body X, Y, and Z. Most programs that are popular, it doesn't really matter if you like which one of them you use for like changing the body. like using the body XYZ, or if you just put in these ones that are for the head. For example, the face rig, which is a very popular program for this. It doesn't use all of the parameters, including, unfortunately, the body XYZ. So you have to put every bit of movement in the head, even though it's the body movement. And either way, there's not really any available programs that track the upper body separately for these models. I'm pretty sure like there are some that work differently with 3D models, where you can track differently, and like then there's like full body tracking and all that stuff, which isn't really a thing with the 2D models, unfortunately, because it's very much possible for people to rig it, to like model it here in the programs, like everything should work, but then there's no programs that utilizes that, unfortunately. But yeah, so let's just do, so we put here. I'm just gonna show a little bit, and then I'm gonna have a little bit of a longer break because I need lunch. So yeah, you press here, and then you get 3 beautiful spots, or dots. You can also press this one, and then you get 2, 1 in each corner. And then for this one, you can like place them wherever you want to. And you can press here, and then everything goes away. But yeah, like that. Because then here is the neutral middle, and this one obviously goes to the left, so we can a little bit move like that. That skews the face a lot and looks kind of weird. We're just gonna something like that. And then you can either do the same on the other side, or it doesn't always work, but you can press reflect motion, and then it does the same thing. Yeah, so now we have a very stiff and weird Z-angle movement, and you can see it looks really flat and stupid. So then the next thing is to like go into like all of these different Z adjustments, and like make sure it looks nice. And like maybe you would want to move like the entirety of the head a little bit. Oh yeah, and then before you do that, because this one isn't a part of this deformer, so you need to add that one, and that goes like for all of them. Preferably, I recommend adding everything right away, so you don't accidentally start moving the deformers around, and then starting to do other stuff, and then you can't get it back, and it's always gonna be weird and deformed. So yeah, but yeah, there. Now everything. Yeah, that is everything. Fix U adjustment. Oh, yeah. Yeah, now everything that is supposed to be a part of the C adjustments is here. Like then we can take this arm. It's like it moves out a bit weirdly, so we can move it in, and then like yeah, like that looks more natural in a way, right? And like if you want to, you can like move that one out. But yeah, so yeah, that is that is how that works. And now I'm gonna save again, and I'm gonna take a break because I need food, and I'm not sure that it's all that fun to listen to me eat. So yeah, but I'm probably gonna be live again after food because I'm gonna continue working, so might as well stream, right? But yeah, I hope you had a lot of fun watching, and that it was fun learning a little bit about how the program works and stuff. Yeah, I'm gonna be back later. So yeah, thanks for watching. Okay.